Fire at a recycling plant ties up crews for hours. Good evening, I'm Rob Macco. Thanks for joining us for WJCL News at 11. Garden City firefighters are looking for the cause of a massive fire at a recycling plant. Additional crews were called in to help put out the flames. WJCL's Chelsea McDonald is working for you tonight to uncover details about this morning's fire.
Well, it started around 4 this morning at the Newell Recycling Plant in Garden City. Firefighters say putting out the fire was certainly time-consuming because it took about 8 hours. An additional fire department even helped put out the 500 tons of materials and metals. Firefighters worked for 8 hours to put out a huge fire here at the Newell Recycling Plant. It wasn't until noon Sunday morning that everything was clear. Now firefighters are searching for how it started.
When the units arrived on scene, it was just a heavily involved pile. So at this time, we can't give an exact cause.
The wind swept that pile of scrap materials and metals about 40 feet high.
Anytime you have a pile, it was probably about 500 tons of, recycled materials that was on fire. So of course they had to bring in their equipment to help move it around to where we can get to it and put the water on the fire.
The Garden City Fire Department just replaced their gear from the Georgia Ports Authority fire in February. Amy Hedrick, the spokesperson for the department, says the fire Sunday morning wasn't as large of a fire, but it was time-consuming.
We didn't have to, break out the foam, break out the big guns, all of that they had to do there. There was just so much water runoff, and plus you had the melted rubber. We didn't have anything that was so hazardous to our equipment or gear that it actually made it to where we couldn't use it anymore.
So the fire department will reuse their equipment. It was a joint effort Sunday morning. 8 firefighters from Garden City plus the Pooler Fire Department helped extinguish the flames. I spoke to a representative of Newell Recycling. He declined to do an interview. I also spoke to neighbors around that area, and no one I spoke to saw or smelled the smoke, and there were no injuries in the fire as well. Reporting in the studio, Chelsea McDonald, WJCL News, working for you.
The two teens